All right, today we're going to be talking about Simpsons Hit and Run, which is a game that you're probably familiar with. I think it came out in like 2003, and it's got a lot going for it as far as everyone else is concerned, apparently. I don't tend to be like a harsh critic. I'm not like, I'm not really, that's not really my style of critiquing things. I'm not like, this game is horrible and you're an idiot if you think so. It's more like I tend to see the good in things, almost to a fault, and almost to the annoyance of people who watch me. Like like I kiss games asses a lot, that kind of thing. So I say that all that just to say this game really pissed me off. I'm gonna try to stay away from being hyperbolic, but this is probably up there in the top five worst games I've ever played. I know that's gonna sound like what? Are you crazy? I don't know, man. I want to like it. I don't know why I hated it so much. Well, I do know why. That's why I took all these notes here. And there's some good things about it too, obviously. And people love this game. I don't want to be shitting on anyone's parade here, and I want to try to show some respect to the pretty massive nostalgia fan base that this game has. A lot of people love this game, and you know what? Maybe if I had played it when I was 9 or 10, I probably would have loved it too. But my story with GTA, right, was because I showed my dad like a video. I showed my dad my video game. I was like, Dad, look what you can do. I was playing Vice City, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and I thought it was the best thing. I still think it's like the best thing. And I wanted to impress my dad by getting in a car, picking up a prostitute, driving to the beach, chasing her on the beach with a chainsaw and killing her. And then when the paramedics show up, killing them and taking the ambulance and driving, and you get the idea. And my dad was like, "Oh, you cannot play this, Joy." He's like this Colombian guy. You cannot play this, Joy. No, and he took it away. And then I had to find a replacement because I was like, "Oh my god, how am I gonna not play that game now?" It was 2000. It might have been 2002 actually. When Vice City came out, it was amazing, and GTA 3 too. But I grew up on Vice City, and so I needed a game to replace that with. Now I didn't get my hands on this game; it wasn't even on my radar. It was Crazy Taxi, which, if you compare Crazy Taxi and Simpsons Hit and Run, and which one is more like GTA, Simpsons Hit and Run is going to win that, because GTA or Crazy Taxi is just driving around and picking people up. But I wanted to drive around. So I say that all to say that for a lot of people, The Simpsons Hit and Run was that game for them. It was like for everyone. Wasn't a whole lot of violence. It was pretty funny. It was really funny actually. And nobody had to worry about gore or violence, so most families would be all right with it. So for that reason, and we gave it a positive just for that, like a nostalgia plus. Just to honor that this is a nostalgia game, and that means something. Okay, nostalgia, yes, it is like, you can say it's like, oh, you just get your blinders on, your binoculars on, but I tend to show a little respect to that. I mean, if the game had that much of an impact, you can't really ignore that, right? Um, man, that being said, the version of this game I was playing, let's get that out of the way, because this might have had something to do with my experience as well. I was playing on a PS2 ROM, okay, an emulator. I think it's not DuckStation, it's for PS2. It's like PCX 2 or something like that. And I was playing on that, and I was playing with my PS5 controller, okay? And I had all my settings pretty much as close to being like the PS1 or 2 as I could. Like as far as graphics or whatever, like everything ran pretty smooth, all right? I've seen like a couple remasters of this game out there, and it looks way different. People are like the graphics I've seen of the other version of Simpsons and Run is like looks like super super cartoonish and smoother, and like I was wondering maybe I should be playing this version, whatever that is. Maybe it's GameCube. It looks like those old GameCube games with this cartoon style graphics. This port of Simpsons I'm talking about. Anyways, so that's the method in which I played Simpsons, and it was God, boy, oh God, it was painful. Now it did have some good moments, and I think for a lot of people, it's probably entertaining to watch me rage. I have never actually raged like I have on Simpsons. I didn't think I was going to beat it. It took a lot of patience. So, anyways, let's get into the review. All right, that's enough preamble. We'll start with presentation, then we'll talk about gameplay, and then story. Which there's really, to be honest with you, let's just be straightforward here. This game, the story is not really something that I don't think anyone would take seriously, including the developers. Right? I think it's all just light and fun and jokes, and I actually kind of like that. I don't mind that too much. Like, oh, aliens, and and we've got and a lot of the, like, it's just wacky. Like, a lot of the missions make no sense. Like, oh my god, there's aliens. Okay, quickly, let's go drive and chase this guy and hit donuts out of his car. Like, what? Makes no sense, and it's fine. Sometimes those old games are kind of light and stupid and fun, and I like that. I don't mind it. I'm not like unfamiliar to funny games. Like, I've played Gex, Enter the Gecko. That was funny. And all his one-liners, and this game is like that, where it's got whoever you play as, you have your 5 characters that you play as, and basically whenever they do anything, they just verbalize their one-liners. Sometimes like back to back to back, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, story, I don't really have a whole lot to say at all, other than it's funny, it's light, and I couldn't care less about it. The humor is something that's obviously front and center. They have the same writing staff, Matt Groening or whatever his name is, of the Simpsons, and all the voice actors. It seems like all the voice actors and the writers from the Simpsons uh, staff were present during the development of this game, and it really shows. I mean, the funniest moments in this game to me isn't Bart or Homer. I mean, Bart is kind of is savage, and he says a few funny things, but it's really all the NPCs that are like really quite funny. Like, comic book guy is probably my favorite. I must admit that I do not think that the action was dismal. That guy. He's really funny. Professor Frank is pretty funny. I got a really funny clip or something of like me kicking him, and then him being like, "Hello, my little sociopath," or Ralph and the chief of police, Ralph's dad, like all those guys, super funny. They made the experience a little bit more tolerable, and it made me feel like I was 10 again, actually. So yeah, that's all fine. Funny, light. Let's get, what else did I say about presentation? So we've talked about the significance and the nostalgia and the impact of this game. We've talked about the staff. Oh yeah, so there's this interesting little mechanic, and just yet another similarity to Grand Theft Auto, is that when you're driving, there's just music playing, and it's not necessarily the radio. It's just like, it's not something you can change. It's just like when you're playing as Bart, you hear this like pop punk music. When you're playing as Apu, you hear this like Punjabi, this banger Punjabi music or whatever playing. And and I can't really say much about Lisa or Marge because I don't remember those. I blocked those out as far as the music goes. And then there's another thing about the presentation, which is like how they handled Grand Theft Auto, because we're not actually stealing cars in this game. We're just hitching rides. And then they just decide of their own will to drive us around and chase donuts, so that's kind of funny. Let me see what else we have here. Cartoonist graphics work pretty well for this game. And one thing that I liked was the last mission, the last stage, the zombie stage. That was cool. I enjoyed that quite a bit. They did a surprising amount of effort in that area to make it look fleshed out and, zombified and all the different things. I'm being positive right now because the gameplay section is pretty atrocious. Sound design is fine, whatever. Oops, Kirby died. We'll just leave him down. Run over people. Oh yeah, there's another thing that's kind of funny about this game is like when you just punch people or run them over or whatever, no violence. But what they do instead of, bleeding everywhere is that they just kind of go immobile. Like if you go up and you punch Krusty the Clown, he just kind of goes immobile and he freezes like he just got cast a Harry Potter charm on him. He's like, boom, and he just falls over, and then he's just like wiggling, and it's just kind of goofy. So let's go ahead because this I didn't anticipate this to be a very long video. Let's go ahead and talk about gameplay. So am I having such a problem with this game as far as playing it? Why did I dread playing it every time I started it up? The driving. The driving. Now, I'm aware that I might very well be alone in this, or at least more realistically, I'll probably be in like the minority. Okay, I could not stand the driving. Now, I'm going to make a couple modifiers here. I'm not the best driver. Okay, I'm not an incredible driver in video games, but I've also 100%ed GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, which require you to drive a lot. So I'm pretty used to driving in those games. Oh man. Oh my goodness. I could not hate controlling vehicles anymore at all. I don't think I could have ever hated driving more than I have in this game. And here's why. The best analogy I was able to come up with was if you played Vice City or like any of those older GTAs, you remember cars like the Idaho or the Virgo, or just those like slow moving, really, really poor handle cars. Without hyperbole, I'm pretty sure every single vehicle in this game, Simpsons, functions like the worst cars in GTA. Like you turn, it spins out. You hit the handbrake, it spins out. You hit the handbrake, but you correct by going the opposite direction. You might have a chance there. I was hoping by like halfway or more through the game, I'd get more of a feel for it. Look, I understand. Again, I might be in the minority here, but the driving is like when it's paired with a lot of the things I'm going to talk about here, with the small time limits and the reaction to your car when you hit something and the hit and run system, like all these things work together horribly. I think they don't work together well. And it makes for just a pointlessly frustrating experience where you hardly feel like you're ever in control. And it's not the kind of difficult where like you fail and you're like, I need to do this, I need to do that. No, it's one of those difficulties where you're just being punked. Like you're just constantly like, I don't even know what happened. I don't even know why this happened. This car is supposed to be the best handling in the game. It feels like I'm handling a milk carton on wheels. It's terrible. And, little by little, my frustration became rage. Only halfway through the stream, my rage came out. So, what else about driving? It's like, I mean, I had some really frustrating moments. And another thing that was kind of funny is on at least 7 or 8 occasions, I beat some of these missions with 1 second remaining, which is kind of insane if you think about how lucky I had to get on some of those for just the main game. So I was just unbelievably frustrated with the driving. I could not stand it. There's a few other things that really bugged me. So the driving, like there were times where it felt okay, and but it never just felt fine. It never even felt fine. It was always like a little chaotic. And there's a few other things that are kind of funny, like there's the missions themselves. Okay, there's like the 5 missions that you can do. You can race somebody, you can tail somebody and like not lose them. You can lose them. In other words, if they're on your tail, you have to drive away. Those are the easiest, I think. You have the collect the items, where you have to hit the back of their car and they'll drop a donut or whatever, underwear, and you have to pick it up. Or you also have destroy the car. All right, so you have to like drive into their car within a set amount of time. Those pissed me off the most because oh my god. First of all, with the collecting the donut ones, there were so many times where I'd ram into them and nothing would happen, and that would piss me off. And then sometimes it would work to hit them, and like there was no reason for that. It was just like not programmed correctly, So that was annoying. And then you put those frustrations on top of the time limit, which is always insane. It's always an insanely small amount of time, and I failed very often. One of the only positives I gave this game was the fact that you could skip the mission after you fail like 5 times. Not for all the missions, but for some of them you can. And okay, it's almost like they knew, like, hey, this is crap. We got to give them a chance to actually beat the game. So, I actually Now this is gonna sound very like arrogant, but I kind of wonder the people who love this game, the people who really look back and enjoy it, how many of them actually beat it? That's I'm sure a lot of them did, but of course I asked one person who recommended it, and they asked them if they ever beat it. They're like, no, and I was like, got me thinking like maybe there's a reason for that, like maybe it's like kind of bullcrap. But anyways, I'm sure plenty of people beat it, But that's just something I was thinking about. So yeah, hate the driving. Never felt close to, even Mafia was better. Remember the first Mafia game? Oh my god, the driving was so slow and sluggish. But even that I could deal with. Um, that might be unfair to say. Actually, they're both pretty bad. If I'm being fair, they're both being bad. Pretty bad. Although GTA has like a ton more variation in like the quality of handling you can get, whereas like the best car in Simpsons handles poorly, and I hate it. So I just think for a game where 90% of the game is driving, and I hate the driving. Kill me, dude. I hated this game. Okay, I hated completing it, picking it up and goofing off. That's how you play this game. You pick it up and you goof off. I'm in Springfield, and you go punch up who. You drive around, you collect coins. That's how you have a good time. Maybe beat a few missions if you can. And then you're like, oh, dude, those missions, I don't know about those. And then you quit and you play something better. So, not a fan. Not a fan at all of a lot of gameplay things here. What else do we have here? There's the hit and run mechanic, which is when you okay. When you're driving in this game, there is the road, and there is always cars in the road. In fact, there's usually too many. And there's items on the side of the road that you can bang into. And if you even bang into a fire hydrant, there's that little meter at the bottom that'll fill up and will notify the police, and they'll come and try to arrest you. Okay. So, that annoys me. And the reason that annoys me is because it's like, well, let me actually go back a little bit. In the game, on the roads, there's like the GPS system. On the actual road, there's green arrows telling you where to go. So you follow them because you're dumb like me. Well, that's actually a bad idea. Hear me out. Like, you want to follow them the general direction, but like halfway through the game, you can't beat these missions by doing that. You have to find these shortcuts, which now on retrospect, after I've beaten the game, a lot of the shortcuts are indicated by a Krusty the Clown glass pane or something like that. So, but not really. I mean, you have to just take risks and drive around. And that's how you actually complete missions. Because if you try to go like on the road, like good luck, dude. It's like retarded. So why do I say that? Well, when you take shortcuts, you are inevitably going to be driving into fire hydrants, into people. They're just in the way. And there's no way to go around them. They're just there. You have to hit them. It's like designed for you to hit them. So what happens? The cops come and then make your life more miserable than it already is. So the cops feel like the game already feels horrible to play as far as the missions go. You put the cops on top of it, and it's just like, oh my god, it's like that to me. So hated every second of that. There was a few moments where the gameplay was fun. I actually had to get cheats. I actually had to try some of the cheats, and even the cheats didn't save me from the horrible controls of the driving. It was just a terrible, like, I probably wouldn't recommend anyone play this. Like, this game could use a remake. Yeah, sure. Definitely. I wouldn't recommend anyone play it just for the sheer amount of frustration. Okay. I'm playing Dark Souls right now for my first time. By comparison, I've done 2 streams now. Or 3, actually. I'm playing Dark Souls. That game is hard, but why am I not raging? I mean, I understand people rage, and I'll probably rage at some point, but I rage because I'm doing something that's doesn't seem designed well it doesn't seem designed well or fair. Like, every time I die in Dark Souls, I'm like, yeah, I suck, or yeah, I need to stop trying to parry everybody when I don't even know how, or shit like that. Whereas this game, it's like, I know what the controls are, and I know everything to do already. It just feels terrible, and it feels like I don't have the control to overcome the design of it. So yeah, there you go. Let's see. We talked about the GPS system. Talked about how we like the NPCs because they're funny. There is a reset button. I mean, there's a button you can press to literally take yourself off of wherever you are and put you back on the main road. And cool. But the main thing that comes to mind with this game is there's so many times where I just feel like this doesn't feel designed to me. Like, a couple examples, like what many times I take a shortcut and go over a ramp toward my objective, and every single time I would hit the ramp, for the most part, every single time, there's just like a car, like a hearse, that's going to be right there where I'm going to land. Even if I move to the left, it's still going to clip it because it's a lot harder to weave between cars in this game because the hitboxes on the cars are much less forgiving than Vice City. So yeah, or like another example of poor design was like, hey, you need to destroy this car. I was trying to use the car I was using. It wasn't even getting the job done. So I switched to the school bus, get in the school bus, try to drive into the thing. Okay, you beat it. Thank God. Oh, I don't have to do that again. And then right after that, the mission's not over. Now you got to quickly get over to this other side of town in 50 seconds. I'm in the school bus, dude. So it's like, it's just, oh my God. Like you made it clear to me that maybe I need a stronger car to destroy the first part of the mission by destroying the car. And now immediately after, you're going to give me 45 or 50 seconds to get across town in the school bus or switch to a different car. But, stuff like that. It's like, did you guys beat it? I don't think they did. I really actually don't think anyone play tested this game. They didn't do like a full playthrough. They listen to me. I'm just talking out of my butt. What do I know? It would just blow my mind. Now, I say all this just to say it's very possible that I could just be very, very, very bad at this game. That's very possible, and I'll own that. But again, like, I've played GTA for years, so I don't know. But yeah, so hate the driving. Let's see. So there are some other unique features that were unfortunately overshadowed by my unenjoyment of the game. Like, there are some cool features. You can go and there's the whole exploring Springfield thing, which is kind of neat. And you play as Homer, Bart, Lisa, Marge, or Apu, and you get to just explore Springfield, which is kind of fun, right? It's very nice. It's beautiful. And you have optional ways to make money, which you inevitably have to do at some point. Like, so one of the things you can do is do wager races. I stayed very far away from those because I learned very quickly, like, oh, these are even harder, and I just can't even begin to wrap my head around doing those. But I like that they're an option because that way, if there's people who the driving just works for whatever reason, they can have more fun. So that's a good thing. There are collecting coins. That was actually kind of fun. That was like the one time I had fun. And there's the little wrenches that repair your car when they're taking a lot of damage. So there's like that kind of stuff. Nothing really that interesting to me. And there was a lot of moments where I'd fail a mission and I was just like, you mean to tell me? Because I got so lucky so many times. Like, so many missions, I just got lucky. Like, I was barely able to control the damn car, but I just barely got lucky. You have a handbrake, you have a reverse, and you have a normal brake. You have the ability to reset your car, all that stuff. Still bananas level. If they had just increased the timer by a minute for every level, I don't think I'd have as much of a problem with this game. But the timer is the real problem, I think. It's like the timer is unbelievably strict. And you can't make more than one mistake. You can make one mistake maybe, but other than that, no, you're going to have to restart it. There were so many times during this game where I would like get through 2 phases of a mission where I barely made it. And then I failed because I was 1 second or 10 seconds late. And then I was thinking, you mean to tell me I have to do that again? You mean to tell me I have to get so lucky, more lucky than winning the lottery again? So yeah, don't recommend playing this game. But then again, maybe most people like it more than me. So it's preferences, I hated pretty much most of my time playing it, and it can burn in hell. And but no, it had some moments, and I'm glad I finished it, and I respect that people like this game, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just could not stand the thing, man. And so that's kind of my review. I mean, I think I gave it like a 5 point something out of 10, which is the lowest score I've ever given a game. Maybe you think that's unfair. Maybe you think that's just right. But that's the beauty of this whole thing. Differences of opinion. What else can I say about it? Um, there are cheats, like those old school kind of games where you go to the options menu, and there wasn't enough cheats for me to to make this any easier. There wasn't like an infinite time or infinite money or there was like faster cars and shit, but the whole thing just felt like a bag of old tools, just all clunky and crappy and just oh yeah, the whole thing was just clunk 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 to me. And but I laughed a couple times, and it was a nice break from the normal games I play. And so yeah, lowest score I've ever given. Don't really have a whole lot to say. And then I'll be talking about Resident Evil Requiem next. Not right now, but I imagine that'll be a different video. But anyways, if you watched this, thank you for watching. Hope you oh yeah, and yeah, hit me with a follow if you would. All right, let me wrap up here.